If you're looking for a unique and modern crochet border, then let me show you how to make this crochet fringe. So before we start, I am going to talk about the look of your work. Now, as we can see here, we have our work and then it's quite flat going into the fringe. Now, I have worked this with this side facing, so if you like that look, then go ahead and do it the same as me. However, if you prefer this type of look where you get a little ridge just before your fringe, which I think in some cases will look really nice, will be a nice design feature, make sure that when you're doing this you have the wrong side of the work facing you so that you can ensure that the ridge is going to be on the right side. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to use this swatch to create this fringe. And ideally you want to have an edge where you can work into the stitches. So whether it's the underside of the chain or the top of the stitches from the final row. If you want to do it across row ends, then you might want to add a row of double crochet, which is US single crochet before you start this. But I'm going to add this across this end here. You want to go ahead and take your yarn and create your slip knot in whichever method you prefer, and go ahead and insert your crochet hook. Before we do start this, you are going to need something to measure your loop, which is going to be on your hook. So whether it's with a ruler or just a piece of card or something that you can use as a guide to get your loops the same size, just make sure that you have that to hand. So let's go ahead and make a start. What we're going to do is find that very first stitch and make a slip stitch to connect our yarn. Then we want to take our ruler. So here is my ruler. This one actually only goes up to 14, but I'm going to measure about 15 centimeters for this loop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up a loop just a little bit further than that 14 to make 15 centimeters. And then I'm going to place my finger on the loop on the hook and twist 15 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. Now the general rule here is you want to twist for the amount of centimetres, so 1 twist per centimetre, and then I'm just going to add 1. You could add 1 or 2 depending on the weight of your yarn or the look that you want to go for. But generally as a rule I find 1 twist per centimetre plus 1 or 2. Then what we're going to do is we're going to bring our hook down and you'll see here that it starts to twist. If you want to place your finger just in the centre of there so it starts to twist a little bit higher, then you can do, but we can adjust this. And then you're going to place a slip stitch into the base of that same stitch. You might need to just hold on to that loop on the hook and then pull through. We're going to find the next stitch and slip stitch into there. That will just move our hook over a little bit. And you can see that this is not quite sitting how I want it to sit just yet. So I'm going to place my finger in the center of the loop, pull up, and then just let that twist round again, like so. So now we've done a slip stitch into the next stitch, we're ready to pull up our loop to the 15 centimeters. And then I'm going to wrap round 15 times. So that's 15 times. I'm going to add 1 more, and then I'm going to place my finger halfway down that loop just to guide it a little bit better. Go into the same stitch and then slip stitch. Slip stitch over into the next stitch to get ready for the next one, and then I'm going to straighten this one out by placing my finger into the center of the loop and then letting that twist round like so. So again, we've already slip stitched into that next stitch. We'll pull up our loop to 15 centimeters and wrap 15 times. Add 1 more, place my finger on the loop, slip stitch into the base of that stitch, and then slip stitch over just to give a bit more space to readjust this twist like so. So I'm going to go ahead and do this across the whole of the work so that you can see what it starts to look like. I've now worked my way all the way across, and once you get to the end, you want to slip stitch into that same stitch, and then I'm going to work a double crochet just to secure and then fasten off. Like so, and that double crochet, which is US single crochet, just keeps that last fringe secure. So once you've finished and sewn in your ends, you might want to just make sure that all your fringe is sitting correctly by making sure that you're pulling all of them up so that they are sitting nice and neat. You may also want to steam these so that they sit in place, but I think this looks really lovely in a chunkier yarn as well. So please experiment with the yarn weight that you're using. Have a go with experimenting with the length of your initial chain and also how many twists you're doing as well, because that will alter the look of your fringe. And if you do really like the uniqueness of this fringe and you're looking for different borders which are similar to give that wow to your crochet, then take a look at this video tutorial right here.